Buckle up. Buckle up.
Andrew Collins
Is driving you home.
ABC Bingo.
On ABC Radio Perth.
and WA.
Now up next, changes to residential tenancy laws in WA. If you're a landlord, a tenant, we'd love to hear your views on these. A number of things. Rent bidding will be prohibited. Rent will only be able to be increased once a year instead of every 6 months. Tenants will be allowed to make minor modifications to properties, and landlords to say no to pets if Consumer Protection approves that no. And no grounds evictions will stay in place. If you've got a comment to make, you'll hear from a property management company, as well as from someone who works in an animal shelter as well, on whether these pet laws will mean a reduction potentially in the number of pets surrendered. I'd love to hear from you on this. 1300 222 720. You might have caught it on radio with Joe Trilling this morning. Commerce Minister for WA, Sue Ellery, talking through the changes to rental laws the government is introducing. So key changes will include limiting rent increases to once a year, allowing more people to have pets, and also tenants to make minor modifications to their properties. If you're a renter, or indeed if you're a landlord, keen to hear from you. What do you make of this all? Particularly the law that says a landlord can evict a tenant without giving a reason. That is staying. Unlike in the ACT in Victoria, where that has been abolished. Now, here is what the Minister had to say about why no grounds evictions are set to remain in place.
We want rented houses to be homes for renters, and we've made significant changes to enable that to happen. At the same time, it is a record tight rental market, not just here, obviously, but around Australia. Investors in private rental properties are predominantly small investors. It's your mum and dad investor, if you like. The sorts of drivers for their decisions are different to those made by, kind of big commercial investors. So making a regulatory change which would limit what decisions they can make about their own asset creates uncertainty at a time where we've got record low numbers of properties in the private rental market. We don't want to be creating uncertainty and perhaps end up with even less.
Commerce Minister for WA, Sue Ellery, there. If you've got a comment to make, a perspective to share on this, 1300 222 720. Clare Christiansen is the General Manager of Rent Choice, a property management company. Clare, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good, thank you. What's your assessment of the broad range of changes here?
Oh, look, we're definitely welcoming today's announcement. It has been in the pipeline for a long period of time, so it's giving that certainty to owners and tenants, and being able to make informed decisions moving forward, and knowing the rules of the game is great. So it's definitely something that we've been waiting on, and to have some announcements today is very well appreciated.
Okay, and what about the fact that a landlord can still evict a tenant without giving a reason? So that's staying, unlike in some other jurisdictions in Australia. Your view on that?
Again, look, it is a major win for the investors, because as Minister Ellery said, that, we do have a very different build-up of how our ownerships look. Our industry is, very predominant mining, therefore our tenants move more fluidly like our owners. So, having this availability to make a decision on their own investment property gives them that confidence to move forward and manage their asset accordingly. And
what impact do you think these reforms might have on the number of homes that will be up for rent, or the number of properties, I should say?
Well, the conversation that I've been having with a lot of investors has been around that uncertainty. They didn't know what was happening in this space, and this was been going on for so long. So, I think people will have a better understanding of what they can do and how their future will look if they own a property, or even if they're a tenant. It also means, if you've got a fixed term lease in place, that you've got that security of that fixed term lease.
And what do you think the reaction, or what's your reaction, I should ask, about the easier for pets to be in rental properties. Given that the current pet bond is $260, what's your take on this?
Okay, so we already have a lot of pets in properties. So I don't know, there's not going to be much of a change in respect to the number of pets that I think will be in properties. I think there's still the ability to have a compelling reason to say no for a pet if an owner doesn't want to, and I'm assuming that's going to be around like if you've got 101 Dalmatians in an apartment or something like that. I think that's probably where it's going to come into play. But investors generally want two things, rent paid on time and property taken care of, and tenants want a long-term secure property and know that they can make it feel like home, and pets are definitely something that does do that. So I think, we're obviously waiting for finer details on the bond side of things. At the moment, the existing bond is only $260 and it's for fumigation. It doesn't cover pet damage, but again, it's about maintaining the property, so doing regular inspections, looking at the property regularly, and if there are issues from a pet being there, bringing it up with the tenant then and there rather than waiting it out. So I don't think lots of owners have issues with pets. I think it's more a case of making sure that the property is well maintained.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Clare Christiansen, general manager, I should say, of Rent Choice, a property management company. So pretty happy with the broad suite of changes to tenancy laws in WA. 1300 222 720.